As the Civil War was finally winding down, and Abraham Lincoln was beginning to feel relief from the tensions weighing on him as President of the United States since 1860, a dramatic turn of events ended with a country in mourning and a fallen leader when he became the first U.S. President to be assassinated. The day was April 15th, 1865. John Wilkes Booth was the main conspirator in the plan to assassinate the president. He had also recruited several other men. Among them were Lewis Powell and George Atzerodt, who were given important tasks by Booth to complete.
John Wilkes Booth, he was a Confederate sympathizer from a decidedly Union family. He conceived a plan to kidnap the President of the United States and then turn him over to the Confederate Army as a hostage. As time wore on, eventually that plot grew into something more conniving, and Booth even attended Lincoln's inauguration in hopes to kill him on the spot. It's clear now, looking back, that his aim was indeed assassination.
On the morning of April 14th, 1865, Booth found out that Lincoln would be attending Ford's Theater that evening. He quickly moved into action and enlisted the help of his co-conspirators. Powell's assignment was to kill the Secretary of State, William Seward, and Atzerodt was told to kill Vice President Andrew Johnson. The night had finally arrived, and the men went about their tasks cautiously and with conviction. Booth had told them each that they were to strike around 10 p.m. Powell ended up slashing the face of Seward, although he survived. Atzerodt, who had not bargained for this, never approached Johnson's home. Booth made his way to the theater. Lincoln, his wife, and two close acquaintances who joined them at the theater that night were seated in the presidential box. As the play continued, Lincoln's wife said to him, "What will Miss Harris think of me hanging on you so?" "She won't think anything of it." Those were his last words. In the meantime, Booth had given his horse to a stable hand outside the theater, and with his experience as an actor and being familiar with Ford's Theater, made his way up to the presidential box, where he waited for the actor on stage to speak the play's climactic line. During the laughter immediately following the line, Booth shot the president in the back of the head. Confusion in the theater followed, as Booth jumped onto the stage, awkwardly landing and breaking his leg. He shouted out a phrase that is heard differently by witnesses. "Sic semper tyrannis," some hear. "Death to tyrants." Booth flees into the night. Lincoln was immediately moved by a group of men into the back bedroom of a boarding house across the street from the theater. Believing the wound to be mortal, the doctor and everyone else began the vigil throughout the night. He died at 7:22 a.m. on the morning of April 15th, 1865.
Well, and as the government began closing in on the conspirators, especially Booth, he was cornered in a barn that they burned down. Lincoln's body was being transported in a funeral train in a procession that spanned the length of 1,700 miles. Millions of American citizens went to see it, and as the train passed by, understandably they felt some mixed feelings, right? I mean, finally this long, horrendous, heart-wrenching time of their life, this war, the civil war amongst each other, was finally over. But at the same time, how could they feel this happiness when this great man, their leader, the one who was able to bring the states back together, he was gone?
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, was dead.